Welcome, travelers of the Hollow Woods. I'm Linwood Sharp, director of Lumberwoods, a natural history museum, and I invite you all to a new video on those most fantastical of beings known simply as fearsome critters. In prior presentations, mentions have been made of specific fearsome critters to illustrate some aspect of discussion, but today we will simply be going over individual fearsome critters, more or less at random, apart from any overarching examination. To begin, I'd like to start with one fearsome critter in particular, noteworthy for having transcended its humble origins to such an extent that it has embedded itself onto the American popular consciousness. The subject in question is none other than the jackalope. The jackalope is an animal of the central and western United States, resembling a pairing of a rabbit with deer antlers. Apart from its outward appearance, the jackalope is said to have an uncanny ability to mimic sounds. So keen is this power that it is purported that the jackalope is able to repeat the songs of cowboys with an uncanny degree of accuracy. As well, jackalopes only mate during thunderstorms, and their milk is rumored to be a powerful aphrodisiac. Much like the hodag in the city of Rhinelander, Wisconsin, the jackalope is largely associated with Douglas, Wyoming, wherein it is much celebrated by its citizens. Northward to climes a bit more chilly, one encounters the fur-bearing trout. The fur-bearing trout is a freshwater fish distinguished by a soft pelt that covers its body. It is rumored that waters in the area of its habitation run so cold that the fish actually grows fur in order to maintain body heat. This is naturally a very curious assertion, being of course that fish are cold-blooded. Fur-bearing trouts are known by various names and are given to different local interpretations, such variations as the prairie pike or the whiffletit. But warming things up, stories that plague the sunny American South revolve not around a fish, but a particular bird of ill omen, known as the belled buzzard. At first glance, the belled buzzard appears the same as would any run-of-the-mill turkey vulture, excepting for a cow or sleigh bell affixed to it. However, the pandemonium and dread this fettered creature spreads is something surpassed by few other fearsome critters. For it is often said that the ringing of its bell foretells disaster, and frequently is the creature cited as a harbinger of war, disease, or some such calamity. Belled buzzard stories were inspired by actual pranks wherein vultures were caught and affixed with bells, and while many different birds were used, the common notion that all accounts stemmed from one seemingly immortal creature fueled popular imaginations of the day. Other aerial creatures to have piqued the interest of former generations include among them the goofus and the gelly-galoo, which one may recall from our last video. However, another odd sort of bird is the veliloo. The veliloo is a featherless crane that, as a means to thwart rheumatism, flies at all times upside down. The American poet Jack Prelutsky known for his simple rhymes geared towards children, describe the Felilu in the following manner. The Felilu bird looks like a crane, but has even longer legs. Since it has no knees, it can't sit down, so it lays only broken eggs. Certainly, such a fitting description more than earns the Felilu a place among fearsome critters. But another equally fantastical animal is the Wampus Cat, which has been widely reported from time to time, albeit without any degree of consistency. Usually, the Wampus Cat is depicted as a huge phantom wildcat with black fur and glowing green eyes, noted for its whistling cry that can be heard echoing through the forest night. The Wampus Cat, described by Vance Randolph in We Always Lie to Strangers, is a kind of amphibious panther, and often is the Wampus Cat associated with water, chiefly reported from the rivers, creeks, or swamps it resides. However, this depiction is not universal, and some may argue the Wampus Cat has 6 or even 8 legs. While a particular story circulating around the Olympic Mountains near Puget Sound has it that the Wampus Cat sheds white whiskers by day and black ones by night. Conversely, in Fearsome Critters by Henry H. Tryon, the Wampus Cat possesses retractable forearms, like an extendable scissor lift, that the cat uses for plucking eagles out of the sky. Even more, Wyman in Mythical Creatures of the USA and Canada asserts that the Wampus Cat is legged for hillsides, in a way comparable to the side-hill gouger. As touched on previously, the side-hill gouger is an animal that is never without perfect balance on a hilly slope, for nature has granted this lopsided creature with legs on one side of its body longer than the other, allowing it to maintain level footing on steep hillsides. The side-hill gouger hatches from eggs and lives in hillside burrows. Like the fur-bearing trout, the side-hill gouger is given to a whole host of different names and regional variations. Other names for the side-hill gouger, and I hope you're ready for this, include, but are not limited to, the side-hill dodger, the side-hill badger, the side-hill guano, the side-hill hoofer, the side-hill slicker, side-hill walloper, side-hill wowzer, side-hill winder, or side-hill sauger. This is to say nothing of the cutter-cuss, dodger, goat-tooth throw, dada pro, gwinter, gaius, cutis, hackle-toe pelter, hunkus, wampa hoopus, mountain winder, proc, Rekaboo racker, sideswiper, sidewinder, walloper, the yamhill lunkus, as listed by Tryon, as well who could forget the dahu or dahoot, as the animal is known in French Alpine country. Moreover, while the side-hill gouger's appearance itself is not necessarily linked to one particular animal, a few of its variants are. Such is the case with the side-hill hoofer, resembling a beaver, and the side-hill bear. Notable is the racabore, listed by Wyman as Sus lethotripanicus, which resembles a pig, and the side-hill dodge hodag and side-hill wampus to round off the list. Yet another oddity often met by travelers is the hoop snake, a serpent which bites its tail, enabling it to roll like a wheel. The hoop snake was purported to carry a deadly poison, but instead of storing it in its fangs, The hoop snake carries its venom in a hook-like spur at the end of its tail. As the hoop snake builds momentum, it suddenly unhoops itself. The resounding force sends the hoop snake flying, tail long, darting at its victims. Stories that are told of hoop snake escapes relate that only by jumping through its hoop, or by having the serpent strike a tree or fence, can one successfully evade the creature. It is interesting to note that wood so infected with hoop snake venom is said to swell to enormous size, but any timber derived from it cannot be burned, but instead only hisses if placed on top a fire. However, perhaps more notorious than hoop snakes or billed buzzards is the hide behind. Stories of an unseen, malicious entity stalking travelers or any who cross its path are prolific and overstretch the continent. It is said that the grisly hide behind is always concealed from view behind a tree, rock, or any such hiding place. Consequently, the hide behind has only been seen by its victims. Tryon, in Fearsome Critters, related that the face of the hide behind is covered in shaggy hair, like that of a German shepherd, and seldom can anyone tell in what direction the fiend is facing. The most crucial piece of information related by Tryon is that the hide behind has a severe intolerance to alcohol, and one shot of good whiskey has proven a successful repellent against the wicked creature. To add to this list of creatures to be feared and avoided, one should consider the Snallygaster. The Snallygaster is a bird-reptile hybrid of the Appalachian Mountains, particular to the regions of South Mountain in Frederick County, Maryland, described as having a metal beak, razor-sharp teeth, giant steel claws, tentacles, and an eye in the center of its forehead. It is said that hex signs in the form of 7 pointed stars afford the only means of protection against the monster. However, the Snallygaster is only one of many fantastic beings what inhabit mountainous regions. From the Ozarks come stories of the Razorback Hog. The folkloric razorback is distinct from any natural animal bearing the same name. The folkloric razorback is so called due to being adapted to the narrow mountain passes where it may be found, for the razorback is extremely thin, rivaling even a sunfish in width, and as the name more than implies, possesses a sharp, narrow body, allowing it to squeeze through even the most constructive of ridges. What is more, the razorback is noted for its superior strength, courage, and swiftness. The razorback is an adept climber also, and will even battle wolves or bears in territorial contests. All in all, one could very well go all day detailing the most wondrous and startling creatures that inhabited the minds of early North American liars. But for now, I shall submit to your imagination only the 10 or so aforementioned. And to close, I'm limited. Airplane. Just give it a second. It's an airplane. Come on. Come on. I might just cut this out. Wait. Nope. Nope. Wait. Wait. Nope. 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 Okay. Where was I? Oh, yeah. I'm Linwood S. Sharp with Lumberwoods, a Natural History Museum. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for future content. Seriously, because I can see only like 10% of Lumberwoods' recurring viewers are actually subscribed. So, please, go ahead, click that button if you haven't done so. Don't worry, I'll wait. Subscribe yet? Okay, well, anyway, uh, until next time, carpe noctem, travelers.